Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa and I have some Overwatch breaking news. We have a post from Jeff Kaplan on the official forums and this is concerning Bastion. Now I know obviously Bastion has been a major point for everybody recently because Bastion's changes on the PTR were a bit ridiculous and then they kind of went live and we're starting to see a shed load of negativity all over the community about this. Now I put a video out on the channel today where I spoke about Bastion and I was like, is he really that OP? And I wanted you guys to kind of make your mind up based off that video. The thing with that video was though, it was played in a six-man stack, so everybody was playing around the Bastion. It looks like though that even in solo queue, Bastion is everywhere and it's turning the game into kind of a pretty bad way. Anyway, we've got a post from Jeff and this is possibly one of the biggest posts I've ever seen him put on the forum. What we're going to do is we're going to read most of this off to save you guys reading it. You can listen to me narrate Jeff. It's going to be beautiful. Then we're going to go into detail on this because it is super interesting. With that said, we'll make some changes to Bastion and put them on the PTR this morning. We'd love to hear your feedback about those changes when they go up. I don't have details right now because we're still making the changes. I think it's interesting to reflect upon the idea of what the meta is, what the meta is perceived to be, and what the meta should be. When I read some feedback about what the meta should be, I get the sense that for some people, that means every hero in Overwatch is picked at the exact same rate. So everyone has a 4 to 5% pick rate. I'm not sure this is entirely realistic, nor do I think the game is necessarily better if this is the case. It might be, and I would love to be wrong about that. One of the reasons that we tried to keep all 4 of our game modes viable, I know the community thinks of it as if 3 game modes, or maybe 3.5 game modes, is because different maps and different game modes allow the meta to be more fluid. The more the community pushes us to eliminate maps or modes, the more the hero meta will stagnate. I totally agree that when the meta is too defined, i.e. people only play XYZ heroes, the game is less fun. So we need to watch for trends and adjust that as needed. Okay, you know, that's a fair enough comment. I don't really need to elaborate too much on that. One interesting thing is the actual meta versus the perceived meta. The perceived meta is largely driven off the professional scene and what gets played in tournaments. After those tournaments, really cool reports are written analysing the pro scene. Those reports go out of their way to say that they are solely reflective of the pro scene and not necessarily representative of the player base at large. Yet people cite the pro pick choices as gospel. One thing that I found interesting was that there was a perception based on those reports and in the community that Mercy is never played. Yet according to our stats back during the 3-tank meta when Lucio and Ana were the only viable healers, Mercy was the 5th most played hero overall. And yes, I am talking about competitive, not quick play. So that's kind of interesting, but again, we don't know where those stats are kind of coming from. Like, it'd be nice if we could see them, but like, we don't know if that's just because there's more players in the lower ranks and Mercy is maybe played there, or she was during that meta. I can tell you right now, Mercy's played a lot all over the place because she supports Bastion, which is actually a bit better anyway because she's sort of like, she had a little bit of a buff on the PTR, so that was cool. Anyway, we carry on, ladies and gentlemen, because this is where it starts to get interesting. So often the perception of what the meta is does not match what the actual meta is. So basically he's just saying, look, don't listen to the pros and, you know, with them going on about like what they think the meta is and stuff like that, which kind of goes back to what I said. You know, the meta, you know, it kind of doesn't matter in a way. You need to play what you're comfortable playing and work together as a team and play against what the enemy are doing. But if you go back to what Jeff said earlier about if we've got a problem where only XYZ heroes are selected, which is what I think is happening now, where we're just getting Bastion in every single game, like Bastion, Reinhardt, Mercy, Ana, you know, that's basically a team which just goes against the same team and it's very stagnant and it doesn't play very well. That's when they've got a problem and that's when they're going to come in. So don't really worry about the pro meta and don't worry about people who start making content and pushing it out there and going, oh yeah, well the pros have said this, so this means this, because it's not necessarily reflective of the entire community. In fact, it really isn't. So anyway, he goes on. Balance changes can be very difficult to make when emotions run so high in the community. There is outrage if a hero does not get played a lot, like with Bastion or Symmetra. We make changes to those heroes more viable. We make changes to make those heroes more viable, which means they will get played more. The result is people need to adjust to playing against Symmetra and Bastion more, and they are more powerful. We cannot just magically make Bastion get picked more so the stats look pretty and not make changes to make him more viable at the same time. So obviously, if you want somebody to get played more, you buff them, which is what they've done with Bastion. This is interesting though. I want to share my personal opinion on Bastion, which is dangerous because I know I am a spokesperson for the game. I mean, Jeff literally is the game, right? So this is huge. I play every night. I'm playing both quick play and competitive. I play 2 games of Capture the Flag to get my loot box. Over the past few nights, I've played with Az and against Bastion. My perception is that he is a little too powerful right now. In particular, in one match I was playing Bastion and the enemy Tracer was trying to hunt me down. The Tracer player was clearly a better player than I am, a very skilled individual. I relied heavily on my self-heal and the Tracer could not finish me off, but I was able to kill Tracer in recon mode almost through attrition. This part felt wrong to me, but a lot of the feedback I read feels wildly blown out of proportion. Bastion isn't the I win button, and he can be focused and countered when a team is coordinated. He is far scarier than when a team is just playing a pick-up deathmatch style of play. And I've witnessed both over the past few nights. I think complaints and praise of Bastion are both valid. I don't think he's perfect yet, but I do think there is a high amount of hyperbole, which I love that word, around this particular situation. In any event, we'll put some changes up and we're eager to hear your thoughts. Right, this is huge, right? And I think this is a problem which comes from the PTR not actually being used, really. Like, people play on the PTR, but when I played Bastion on the PTR, it always felt like quick play, right? There was never proper team builds. Everybody was kind of all over the place, right? And you could do really weird things that you just couldn't get away with in competitive. So it kind of begs the question, what was the point of that? Now, I know Jeff has said in the past that they do want to incentivize playing on the PTR, and they absolutely need to do that somehow. So once they work that out and they do that, this will hopefully kind of prevent this sort of situation happening in the future. Now let's talk about Bastion, right? Because I've had a lot of time to think about Bastion, even since the video I put out today, and I've been looking back at clips of me playing Bastion in my placement games yesterday, and watching other people stream and coming against Bastion in every single game. He is a major problem right now because Bastion counters literally everything, and the only way to counter a Bastion is to take your own Bastion a lot of the time, unless the enemy team is highly coordinated. Now, the problem, I think, I mean, I've had no way of testing this, but obviously Jeff has sort of said this is the case. And like I said, through watching people playing stuff, it is kind of clear that this is the problem. When in an uncoordinated team, Bastion is super effective because all he has to do is sit behind a Reinhardt barrier. And if you've got a Mercy damage boosting him, he can just blast people away. He doesn't even need the Reinhardt barrier in some cases. Provided he's getting healed by the Ana or the Mercy, he can just do whatever he likes, which is a major problem because, like Jeff says, if sort of a player with more skill can't really kill you because you're just on Bastion, that's not great design, and that needs to change. And of course, the problem with this, when you're in like the solo queue environment or you're in a duo queue or a triple stack, you've got the Bastion, which is like the enemy team have to be built to get rid of the Bastion. So they need like a D.Va, they need a Reinhardt, they need their own Bastion really, they need an Ana. But it's like crucial they have a D.Va and a Reinhardt to supplement the Bastion, and the Bastion's getting damage boost by a Mercy. So like, there's already 4 slots, and then you've got the Ana, so then you've got like 5 slots, and it's like, well, it's a bit mental, right? And that's the problem. So I think what they're going to do is nerf the heal, it looks like, in some way, because like Jeff seems to have an issue with that, and he wouldn't say that if they were not going to change that. So probably nerf the heal. It's like, I don't know, like through playing Bastion myself, he is powerful, obviously, but I've only really got experience playing in a full team with him. I was hopefully going to get a lot of experience today. Well, I will get a lot of experience today, which is kind of weird that I'm making this video before I'm going live in my stream, where I'm going to play a lot in just, you know, normal competitive. So I would experience the game sort of in its true form, I guess. But it's quite clear they are worried about Bastion. There is no way there wouldn't have been this massive post on the forum of Jeff, which I think is literally the biggest post he's ever made on the forum, saying, look, Bastion, there's a problem. We know there's a problem. Don't worry, guys. We're going to fix him, and we're going to have some changes up for him pretty soon on the PTR. I can't wait to see what these are, but at least we now know Blizzard have acknowledged Bastion is in a pretty horrific state. I mean, if you went on, like I was on Twitch earlier on, and I was watching some of the top streamers play, and they were all raging about Bastion. Like, it was rage. It was like, wow, this is crazy. Now, I know Twitch viewers and Twitch streamers is not exactly the 26 million strong Overwatch community, is it? But it's a fragment of it, and it's a good way of sort of picking up on trends in the community and stuff. You know, obviously playing the game's the best way to do it as well, but it does seem that, yes, Bastion is well, he is OP. I didn't want to kind of say he was OP myself because I wanted to do more testing, because it's too easy in this day and age, especially with Overwatch as well, to just go in for these crazy knee-jerk reactions. Oh my god, Bastion's OP, Jesus Christ, what we're going to do? Like, I made a video and said, Bastion, look, I think he's a bit too powerful. It's going to be interesting if this goes live. It goes live, and I'm like, okay. And yeah, it looks as if he is a bit too ridiculously powerful. What I will say though, guys, is this is going to be interesting to see how they deal with this. It is funky that they've decided to react as fast to this as they have. It also shows you that the PTR basically isn't worth anything, really, because they're not using it to test, they're just using it to make sure, well, they've said they use it to make sure that patches work from a technical standpoint before they go to live. They need to use it to test these balance changes, but how do you do that if you don't get the community to play on the PTR? You know, you don't want to split the PTR, the community up from live and PTR. That would be madness. But this is crazy. This is just insane. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. What do you think the changes are going to be? Hopefully we're going to be able to play them pretty soon. But Jeff has responded, and it looks as if Bastion is OP, and he will be changed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. Do check me out on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/UnitLost, and I will catch you on the next one, guys. Toodaloo.